All right, Commissioner Chandler, you will answer this question first. What do you think about increasing our county discretionary sales and use tax? What do you think about increasing our county discretionary sales and use tax?
I'm not really in favor of increasing any kind of taxes other than sales tax. I don't think we can bear the burden of any kind of increase in taxes. Sales tax is the best way, and that's what I'm sticking to. Thank you.
I think anyone that runs for public office today, the lethal word is increased tax. But I think most of us are realists, and when you're in a situation where we're facing what we're facing, before we continue to put ad valorem taxes on the homeowners that have already been crushed, I think it would be better to have a sales tax. I mean, I would like to put that before the vote to see if you agree with that as a taxpayer. But the benefit at it is instead of just hitting one segment of our population, the homeowner, it spreads that out. It's like you heard mentioned before. So anybody coming through the town, anybody that rents here will pay something back. And it's a progressive type tax. So if a family of two spends $100 a month on whatever, they're taxed on that $100. The people that make more money are taxed at a higher rate because of the fact they make more money. So it's truly a more fair tax, and the tax is you're based on your income, and the higher your income, the higher the percentage goes. And that's what we have in our current income tax system, which is, by the way, very unfair. I would prefer a flat tax. Getting it off that subject, yes, I would support a 1 cent sales tax if the voters approve to do that. And that's something that could be reduced later once we get our house in order, get our budget balanced out again. And the thing is you have to do, you don't want to put taxes on somebody and say, it's going to be for the next 20 years, because that's very demoralizing. We're all about ready to throw our hands up as it is, but you can do it in incremental changes so that you can just get us back to where we have an economy that's sustainable again in Okeechobee County. Thank you.
I believe what the question is referring to is that the legislature enacted law probably, 5, 6 years ago that allowed counties with rural economic concern the discretion to add a 1 cent sales tax. I believe that's what the question is referring to. It's not real clear to me. We already have a gas tax, as you know here, which we were allowed to do under that same statute. No has proposed the additional 1 cent sales tax for Okeechobee County. I tend to agree with a lot of what they're saying with the sales tax. I think it is an equal distribution of people that you're targeting. The only way that I would support it is if we had a resolution that would match any ad valorem tax reductions by those projected revenues from that 1 cent discretionary tax. Tough to do. Sales taxes fluctuate wildly, much wilder than property taxes do. You can kind of track them a little bit. It does have some benefits. I'm not completely sold one way or another on it. I think one of the drawbacks of it for me does Okeechobee County really want to be known as having the highest sales tax in the state of Florida? At 8%, we would be that county. Pluses and minuses, I would like to further, educate myself on it. And I probably would support no, and he's been the driving force behind it, put it on their referendum ballot. But again, me personally, I'd want to get a little more information on it before I, voted for it. But I would support putting it up for referendum, only if we balance it with ad valorem reductions.
As I stated before, is that the sales tax is the only particular tax I would agree to please support, and that's only with the fact that the voters supported it. I think it's the fairest tax. In terms of trying to balance it with the ad valorem tax reduction, that's really difficult. Joey is absolutely correct, but I'm not sure how we would do that. I would support the sales tax increase, but only for a certain specific time that we would have that tax until we get our budget back into some alignment, which is efficient for us to be able to survive in the future. Thank you.
I would really need to do some more research on this. I'm not familiar with it, but I do agree with Joey. You know, if you don't tie the other hand, it's gonna come back and bite you. They're gonna have both that tax and ad valorem if you don't, restrict one of them. So, it's worth looking into, and it's really worth limiting, another area like the ad valorem taxes with it. Thank you.
I would certainly support a sales tax. And you might want to look at big ticket items and maybe a cutoff point there, 5,000, 10,000, there may be a cutoff point that you'd want to charge up to. And then after that, I think like the excise tax that we have today on boats or something that's out there that there's a cutoff at. So you might want to look at that side of it, but I would certainly support a sales tax.